This morning, my question, do you really need to buy your baby so much stuff? Plus, the director of Obvious Child, one of the buzziest films of the year, comes to Nerdland. And opera legend Jesse Norman is here. But first, the politics of parenting. Good morning, I'm Melissa Harris Perry. Tomorrow, American families and the workplace will be the talk of the town in the nation's capital as the White House Summit on Working Families gets underway in Washington. The summit will bring together people from across the country, business owners, economists, labor leaders, legislators, activists, and ordinary citizens, all of whom have a stake in how workplaces can better support working families. Mothers who work will be the special focus of the summit, reflecting the expanding role of women in the economic security of families. President Obama convened the summit with the goal of identifying policy solutions to help Americans find balance between work and family. And as he told a group of small business owners this week, it's a struggle with which even the Obama household has been very familiar.
Michelle talks about how when she worked at the University of Chicago Hospital, her first interview, she actually brought Sasha into the meeting with the CEO. She just wanted to kind of see, all right, how's he going to respond? Sasha was still in the bassinet, the car seat thing. And because her point to her employer was, this is who I am.
Back in 2007, when the Obamas sat down for an interview with 60 Minutes, it was clear that for soon-to-be First Lady Obama, balancing family and her husband's job was no picnic.
Obama had to persuade his wife to let him run. Political campaigns make her feel like a single mother.
Has it put strains on the marriage from time to time?
Oh, no.
Absolutely, it has.
As the first family, the Obamas continue to be an example of how working families make it work, most conspicuously by making room in the White House for the first Grammy. Michelle Obama's mother, Marion Robinson, who cared for Sasha and Malia while their parents were campaigning. She moved in to help maintain a sense of normalcy while the girls transitioned into their new lives. Supporting working parents was at the forefront of First Lady Obama's mind during her first year in the White House, when she made advocating for paid sick leave, maternity leave, and flexible work schedules one of her top priorities. And just 2 days ago, President Obama expanded the federal government's protections for paid leave to be inclusive of all families by extending the Family Medical Leave Act, or FMLA's, benefits to married same-sex couples. The new rules would allow FMLA-eligible workers in same-sex marriages to take time off of work to care for a spouse, even if they don't live in a state that recognizes their marriages. Joining me today is Ellen Bravo, Executive Director of Family Values at Work, Carmen Wong-Olick, who is Assistant Industry Professor at NYU Polytech School of Engineering, Jonathan Metzl, Director of the program in Medicine, Health, and Society, and Professor of Psychiatry at Vanderbilt University, and Joy Reid, my buddy and host of MSNBC's The Reid Report. Thank you all for being here. Thanks. It is The Reid Report, not The Reid Rapport in the kind of... So, Ellen, let me start with you. I know that you will actually be speaking at the summit tomorrow, apparently quite auspiciously between the President and Maria Shriver, which is extraordinary. What will you say in that moment about the state of working families today?
Well, we know that many more women are working and many more men want to be involved fathers. But the truth is, the very thing that makes you a good parent can cost you your paycheck or your job. 40% of the workforce doesn't have a single paid sick day, much higher for low-wage workers. Only 12% get paid leave. So if we want an economy that works for everyone, then we have to guarantee at least minimum standards for everyone. And that means policies like paid sick days and family leave insurance.
Okay, I want to underline that so that people don't think you're just sort of overselling that point, that the things that make you a good parent can actually cost you your job. I want to listen to someone who, I understand this is someone who you've actually worked with, talking about her experience of losing her job as a result of her child being out of school in Chicago because of the cold. Let's take a listen.
Yes.
I had a shift that was on one of those days where it was really cold and the Chicago Public Schools decided to close the schools. And so I had to exhaust all of my resources that I had for childcare that day. The night before, I called and let them know. I literally had no one to watch my son or pay to watch my son. And I couldn't make my shift, and the next day they called me and told me that I abused the attendance policy, and so they let me go.
Carmen, how do we make a difference in that? I mean, we talk about work-family balance like it's some kind of cute... No, seriously. Either I stay home with my child or I go to work.
Childcare is one of those issues that, again, in other countries and even some companies know the value of, the economic value of taking care of children and providing childcare when you have women, majority of women now in this country, who work, and you can support them, and they don't maybe have a partner at home that can help. If you put some money into taking care of children, and again, I know we're going to hear all of this, how can we put up another entitlement program? But we're not a pack of wolves that leave the runts out to die, right? This is really about how can we sustain our economy? If women are such a big part of the economy and growing, and education in terms of educational attainment, we have to support the ability to have families and provide for those families. It costs you a lot more to find another employee than it's going to cost you to take care of that child if there's a sick day or there's a snow day.
And look, having worked in circumstances of great privilege, right? So, for example, when I was at Princeton University, we had a kind of coverage system so that if you woke up and your child was sick and you had a class that day, you could actually call and they would send someone over as short-term care, even if your elder, if your parent was ill in another state. So we know that it works, but it tends to only be available as a safety net for those of most privilege.
And you got exactly to the point that I wanted to make, that there's this thing in the suburbs where there'll be a teacher planning day and all these sort of benefits of suburban life, where there are days off from school, which for lower income parents are the most stressful thing ever, because you have to then figure out what to do with your child. If you leave your child at home alone, like we were latchkey kids when I was a kid, we would be home on our own, you can get in huge trouble. You can get arrested. You can get in major trouble. But if you try to take a day off and your job doesn't allow it, and this is particularly at the lower income scale, you could lose your job. So, I mean, I think that we're structuring a system where only privileged parents have the latitude to ever take a day off, even when your child's sick. I remember when growing up with a single mother, we would try to go to school anyway if we were sick, because we didn't want my mom to get in trouble at work. So we would just go to school. But at that time, you had a nursing school.
Yeah, I was going to say, and then there's epidemiological consequences to that. I wonder, you know, as I was kind of thinking, Jonathan, about sort of what would a policy agenda for women in working families look like, and I was just sort of writing down a lot of it drawn from your work: minimum wage, gun control because of the issue of domestic violence, immigration reform because of the need to keep working families together, labor union organizing capacity, so that, and none of those are like traditional women's issues. How do we get that discourse into our policy discussion?
Well, it seems like there's a tremendous need and a tremendous desire for it. I mean, it's true. I just want to mirror what everybody else is saying, which is that a lot of our laws governing work and employment come out of a kind of Don Draper economy of the 1950s or something like that, in which men were the primary breadwinners and women stayed at home. And it turns out the nature of work has changed dramatically in the last 50 years or 60 years, but our labor laws have not changed at all. And so in a way, it turns out that societies that make that shift better, that allow for flexibility, for co-parenting, for gender equity, do a lot better than we're doing right now about a whole host of indicators, everything from children who are in poverty, much better in Scandinavia, issues like that. So in a way, this isn't just about nostalgia for the great man. It's also that our society will do a lot better, and our children will do a lot better if we can change these laws.
If we make these investments. Stick with me. When we come back, we'll talk about the fact that politicians often target groups like moms and dads, and so how can we get those targets to end up getting the policies they need when we're back?